Hi, welcome, welcome to the Early Morning Ascension Show. And today we wanted to talk about, I'm Joanna. Hi. We wanted to talk about a really incredible vibrational topic for those of us that are really excited to tap into new frequencies of 5D alignment, how to incorporate that into our everyday harmonization of who we are, what we exist within, and what exists within us, and kind of rewrite the story on many things that we're meant to kind of think about and ponder and begin actively living as vibrational archetypes, as vibrational role models for those that are affected by our vibration. They're affected by the living that we live within ourselves as free and liberated beings of love and light, and we're directing our own ship. We're being guided by the spirit and the energies and wisdoms and intelligences from within our highest guidance of who we are within, our highest teams and councils from within. And we're allowing ourselves to really truly understand and know and live moment for moment for moment as to what sovereignty is really all about, that our entirety of who we are is the epicenter of our exaltation. Are we exalting who we are in all moments? And in that exaltation, we get to really feel into the blessedness of our cells, our organs. Our body begins to become this beautiful harmonized experience of health and wellness. And we're moving into this direction of how our intention, our direction, and our focus is of the energies that we are becoming. And so one of the vibrations that came out in our meditation the other day in one of our group experiences was the vibration of sensuality. And being sensual and what that really means. Because many words on our planet are going to be rewritten, as we've often said in many of our radio shows over the years now, is about how can we bring all that we are and all that we are co-creating into a higher vibrational experience and exploration of how we want those experiences to feel in our reality and express in our reality and explore in our reality. And because we are vibrational beings and we're doing the whole upside down experiences, we're stepping into this 5D portal, and the many gateways that we've got coming until the beginning of the year are going to be really important to align your timeline. You know, what vibrations are you really wanting to explore? What vibrations are you really wanting to tap into and play with? Because that's going to allow you that really creative excitement of adventure and sacredness and play, and really limitless potential in who you are becoming. And really play with that, because you're a constant breath of spirit being contracted and expanded in all these vibrations. And your contraction, your vibration of what you are, the core vibration of what you are, and how you manifest. And it's so important to tap into, again, is how you're feeling. We are feeling emotive beings, and that's how we manifest. And many of you that are practicing, really taking intention to drop the mental games. We say the mental games is the same routines that you play over and over and over again in your head, on the routines that you go from here to here and here to here and here to here. So drop the mental planes, put in, an ASMR or a positive affirmation or meditations, and just change up the mental play that you have going on in your head to start the ball rolling into shifting into a new frequency of experience. And then start entraining your body through your evening care and your health care work that you have with you during your daily self-care is so important, twice a day minimum. As we're accelerating, remember the teams have been showing us, we're having to accelerate and process greater aspects of light. And so what came up in this meeting the other night was, now that we're getting used to this feeling of who we are in this new vessel of beauty, because as we're releasing the density, our bodies become more enlivened, become more rich in who we are really feeling ourselves to be. And we're going to be really focusing on really tuning into the various moments throughout the day of how we're feeling in our body and how we can really get moving and just have more fun in our body. That allows you greater time to play, greater time for adventure of who you are, remembering how to move your hips in your body and really shaking out the jiblies that are in those lower chakra areas and in the muscle, in the tissues that are deep within, holding deep traumas. So it's really important to move those the lower body and extremities to get those deep tissue densities out and moving. And you need to move your body in doing that. And feeling sensual and understanding sensuality comes a lot from really sacred movement in many different ways, and how much of the Kundalini has been understood over the many, many eons. Kundalini yoga, sacred six mantras in the sacred sexual and life force experiences, done in a very sacred way. And just understanding the life force and the movement of the life force, and allowing your body to move in the way that is in cohesion with life force, and having those communions that are sacred with both partners, so that both partners are understanding the commitment and the communion that is that sacred life force experience. That's what the Kundalini is really all about. is using it as that experiential communion of cohesion and communion of force, life force, and why it's sacred. It's sacred and fun to play, you know. And so we want to talk about sensual and what that vibration really feels like, because each person is meant to feel sensuality in a different way. But what came up from, they were giving me the visions and the downloads that they were showing me is the version and the vision of the many stories that have been told over the eons of time of Adam and Eve in the garden reaching for the apple, and how we had a stop in that movie, if you will, and there was a stop and it just paused as she was reaching for that apple. And they were showing me that on your planet, you've had eons of this one story being told, and much of it misunderstood, has been told from the perspective of the male, the divine male aspect. How the divine male saw that experience, how it was written down was taken from the divine male perspective. The God perspective, which most often than not was rewritten by humans into the perspective of the divine male, because everything in those days was seen from the divine masculine's perspective. And so much of what the stories mean have only one part of the version of the story. And that was never the interpretation or the meaning or the understanding that was meant to be offered in many of the sacred texts, because we're all one, and nothing within creation can ever be created without, the perfect harmonization. Anything that is created must be that epitome of the experience of equal Vesica Pisces in the middle, equity, fairness, balance of all energies. And it's a number 13, which is the divine feminine number. It takes that harmonizing of the male and female frequencies. Everything in creation is the sensuality of life and the joy of life and the sacred enlivenment of life. So that's what the teams are showing me. And so in this story and you ponder it and muse about it on your own, as seen from the eyes of a divine feminine, even if you're in a masculine body, see the stories that have been written throughout time from the perspective of the divine feminine, and then start working through any issues and any subjugations and any stories of limitation that are held within that 3D box of that mental program that keeps any fears and any experiences held within that subjugatory experience. And then you'll get to see just even a portion of what the divine feminine is now having to transcend and overcome to be known and felt and honored as fair and absolute aspects of the human collective that require our stories to be heard and to be seen and felt and known from the experience of the divine feminine. So to see the story of Adam and Eve from the divine feminine's perspective. And so what Mother Mary had come forward, and the Mother God, because there is a Mother and Father God within you, that is the Vesica Pisces, that we are now honoring the Mother and Father energies within us. And then when we do that, we become absolutely harmonized as the sacred child, which is that 5D joy of sacred experience. And so in this rebirth that each and every one of us are moving through, and this will cause much drama and probably, disgruntledness, because there's so many still that are wanting to stay within those stories of conformity and what they've always been taught and what they've always been known, and that's okay. But we're meant to rewrite things. We're meant to rewrite what words mean for us in this higher vibrational experience. What a word meant back in 1800 is not what the word means now, because we have a more expanded consciousness. We want to feel those words in the contraction and expansion of who we are becoming. We are growing beings of evolution. We don't want to keep stuck in one word, one vibration, that we only have to experience things one way. The ability of who we are as liberated beings and sovereign beings is that we are infinite beings of light that are held, and we have packages of bodies and matter. The body could not survive and could not exist without the spirit. The spirit is experiencing the body, and the body is experiencing the spirit. When you are tapped in, turned on, and you are aligned with spirit, you absolutely feel God breathing within you. And that is the manifestation of your soul's experience, your spirit's experience. You can feel the essence of spirit. It is your spirit. There's no one that can, tamper with it and thwart with it. That's why it's amazing practice to get into that habit of that daily self-care and owning and honoring your own light, validating your own chakras, speaking with your chakras, coming to peace and oneness with your chakras, and working with your chakras in your fields and your bodies every day. so that you absolutely know who you are, every morsel of your body. Every cell is in tune and check with you. Every cell is keeping up with you. The vibration of your higher vibrational packets of light that are coming in, that we're now harmonizing and having to process and integrate, are coming online with you. So you're constantly in this process of harmonization, and it's meant to be joyful. It's meant to be really joyful and sacred and sensual. So the vibration of sensual is what they showed me in this experience. And they said, well, what are your feelings on this? You know, and of course the whole room was filled with women. And we had the experience, and we were, you know, stuck in a bit of a ponder, because never have any of us, and many of us have had different religious backgrounds, if you will, had ever been taught or been, you know, pondered in a sacred open communion that was very fair and respectful about what our stories, much of our stories about creation, have never ever been taken from the divine feminine perspective. And how could it not be when creation is a divine mother? And so it's really important, really, really important. You know, one cannot move through ascension without understanding that all of creation is equal the mother. And it cannot not be. We would not be here without the divine mother. You know, it's just like we could not be here without the mother. We are the mother and the father, each and every one of us. And so how of the stories that are coming forward, really infuse yourself into that sacredness and that sensuality to rewrite the stories, to give yourself your own God's voice, to rewrite how you're infusing and experiencing and expressing yourself within such profound stories that have sadly have never had us as a part of it. And why we go through those personal experiences where we are held in less than or lack, or we are held in, you know, purgatory for even being the spiritual expression and who we are. We have absolute right and human right to call within our own highest guidance of spirit. In years to come, as Cryan and many other channelers have offered, Cryan being the first, that our planet in the short years to come will be stopping throughout the day to tune in to our highest guidance. Before we do anything, before we make any choices, that highest guidance is where we're tuning into. Why wouldn't we? Why would we tune to something outside of us to make life big, profound choices? It must be held within. Your highest guidance will always guide you. Everything you need to know in life, the help from the heavens, walking with the heavens, is your guidance within. Highest guidance. Nothing outside of you is higher. That's how we rewrite all things in 3D to 5D, because you are that heavenly light. You're infusing that 5D through you, for you, by you. Your highest guidance. The heavens live through you. You are the bridge to 5D. 5D bridge maker. Through you. And so all of these really beautiful, rich stories that have only been written from one perspective. And many of the they're showing me, many of the authors, if you will, back in those days, many of them were women. And they were, because they had great penmanship and they were very efficient. You know, many of them were the ones that wrote, you know, from the channeled at the time were usually the men channelers. But there was many women channelers, but they just weren't written about. And so why is that? How can we change that? We're in the year 2021 now. So we really can look at all that we have been in all great ways and really start seeing our reality from the heightened perspective and this upside down effect. We're absolutely how could we not be a part of creation, and why are we not having our perspective known and heard and felt and expressed and explored and experienced? Each and every one of us are meant to explore the equal opportunity stories for Divine Feminine, seen it through the Divine Feminine's experience, seen it through her chakras, seen it through her expression, seen it through her caretaking, seen it through her motivations and her intentions and her purity and her love and her lust. All of those experiences that are meant to have normal human experiences. Why have they ever been talked about and offered in a very sacred and, you know, absolute divine intelligent manner? As a Divine Feminine is not and cannot and never will be not kept out of creation. Divine Feminine are master creators. And yet there's been no stories about us from our perspective, from the hearts of who we are. That's profound. And how does our collective, in all the subjugation, and we're talking just this one perspective, because there's also too the many tribes and the children and the elders. How many of our stories of sacred texts have never been seen through the eyes of the child or the elder? More so the elder than the children. The children are completely kept out of the sacred texts. And spirit is just saying, no, everything upon earth is equal, an opportunity of all spirit living. It can't not be. It's all spirit. All things in between space, and space not space. It's all spirit. Absolutely. That is the joy of life, is the joy of spirit. It's all spirit. How can the stories be written in allness? How can the stories be written in oneness? How can the stories be written in fairness and equality and gratitude for the respect of all aspects of all perspectives? How are all perspectives being seen and viewed as honored? Are the divine feminine views honored? And so the first thing that comes up is where the clearing needs to come. And why not? Why would divine feminine be kept out of creation? Those are big things that we're now rewriting, and how exciting, right? I mean, like, just mind-boggling. So as they were playing this role in this film to me, I was just like, wow, you know, every time that story has been said, and a million, jillion, billion different times, these are the imprints in our earth that our children, all the children collectives come and they feel these imprints and energy imprints. So how are we going to change it? We are fifth dimensional beings now. How can we change those imprints within the fields of light, how the omnipresent, and start rewriting every single one of our human stories to include the sacred of all lives, of all beings, of all bodies, of all forms, of all collectives? Should it not be? We're a collective of oneness. Why is it only the male's perspective of all things are ever written about? And from that perspective only seen. And from that perspective only led. Why? Can anyone before you and have a conversation that's loving and caring and kind and benevolent? Can you think of five women of an archetype of a beautiful role model that you can think about that you really hold in the most high? In the same manner of anybody in our history that is a man. Most often than not, you'll come up with probably 3 or 4 or 5 handfuls of men, because that's what we're pushed all the time, because it's an egocentric experience. And that's okay, that's where we're coming from. But this is the upside down effect. We got to start rewriting, because there's entire 98% of the collective that's being absolutely left out. Upside down, flip it up. We got stories to rewrite, people. Let's go. Giddy up. Giddy up. These children are masters. These children are magicians. So let's give them space. Let's create their perspectives and offer them and ask them, what are your perspectives about these stories about humanity? Let's go. Let's write a story. Let's paint it. Let's dance it. Let's sing it. Our whole experience of how we're entertaining ourselves are going to be absolutely flipped upside down and saying, now what is the most appropriate to honor the preciousness of these children? How can we honor the preciousness? And how can we create these platforms of entertainment that absolutely honor their multidimensional, highly dynamic, sensitive experiences that they are? And how can we see it from their perspective? Have we ever offered anything that's being offered in the entertainment industry? Have we gone within and asked them their perspective of anything? Besides just saying, we're going to create an aggressive or violent game. Can you tell us how you like it? And why would we? Why would we push? Why would we push violence onto our children and say, let's normalize this? Why would we? It's a part of the experience, yes, but what else? And yes, there's other things out there. There's lots for us to do. Lots for us to do. So let's get busy. Let's really get busy about how the stories are coming through the collective for years and years and years and years, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years that are imprinted in the collective, that we get to pull up and say, okay, we're creating a heavenly collective now where we're all equal and we're all one. What about the divine feminine's perspective in this? And what are some great divine feminine role models? How are divine feminine seen as creators? And that will make a lot of people feel uncomfortable, and so be it. Then their experiences can be a part of the experience of sussing out why. Why do I feel uncomfortable? Because they're steeped in stories of subjugation. Why should it only be one collective? How can we ever be a balanced collective, and why everything is unfolding the way it is? It must be brought into balance. Flip it upside down. Everybody is equal. See all stories from all perspectives. That's how you know you're really clearing and healing stuff. When you're seeing every one of your chakras, any story that comes forward from your chakra, see it from both perspectives and the child. How is my inner child being served from this story? That's how you're constantly harmonizing the mother, the father, the sacred child. The sacred child is effect, not only a resemblance and a mirror of the collective of the children that you're here to upgrade and up level through your own creative intuitiveness, through your own creative gifts and skills and wisdoms to start activating and infusing greater programs of light for them, for you, because it's your inner child. It's what you really truly want to see in the collective, for the collective, of the collective that is heavenly on earth. And so this vibration of sensuality. And I said to my teams, I said, wow, I said to the women that were in the group, I said, to be honest with you, I've never really felt that vibration because I've been, it comes with a lot of those wounds from those traumas and those healings and the subjugation and the many timelines. But I've seen over the many years, one of my soul missions is to really look at the infinite historical experiences through humanity and see it through the divine feminine perspective and bring it forward to be rewritten and cleaned out and cleared out. Because this is what we're doing. We're bringing our ancient, beautiful, sacred text forward. And now we're saying, okay, everybody needs to be rewritten in these stories. Everybody needs to be upgraded with higher vibrational words and sacred tongue. We're all one. We are of the heavens. We are cosmic starseed. And we are meant to see our stories from all perspectives, all levels and all realities, not just from one perspective. And then the children that are being born every day, all they feel is these imprints of all these stories that are from only one perspective. Well, why would they? They automatically feel as if they're not valued. Of course you are. We're going to start creating systems where we're going to ask you, what kind of things in entertainment do you want to see? What kind of things would you like to feel, to sense, to intuit? How can we create these platforms and these experiences that are absolutely serving you and your dynamic expansiveness, your intelligence and your intuitiveness? How can we feel into that? So the vibration of sensuality is the ability to feel into the joy and the enlivenment of life. And we hold that word, as soon as you say sensuality, all of a sudden everybody drops that back to sex because we've had the limited experience of sex, right? It's been a very, primordial experience, and it hasn't, there has been, but when one thinks about it that way, they automatically think about it and it doesn't include that sacred experience, right? Because most people have not worked through their wounding to have it be sacred. You got to work through your wounding for that type of a beautiful experience to be sacred. So using sharing the sacred life force is very sacred. In my experience, my understanding, that's just the sacredness of sacred. I mean, life force is sacred, right? But sensuality is way more than that. Sensuality is how you feel into the cooking of a great meal. Sensual about food. Sensual about feeling yourself within the enlivenment of life. And feeling into how your body, remember, we're doing the upside down thing. So we're not living within this very, stuck body that is only living in the mental experience, but now we're able to move and be sensual about life because there's so much for us to feel and it's so rich. So here's some things that they were doing is that your planet is shifting very quickly into many crucibles of light through which you will no longer be able to deny your oneness. And the heartfelt thought of love and honor and compassion will manifest really quickly in front of you and in your reality. So as you see yourself as the explosion of light in all moments, you're amplifying the love of who you are, because that love is light and the light is love, and love begets light and light begets love. And so in this, you're able to feel and to sense, because as you become light, you're able to sense in your field, and your intuitiveness turns on, as we said the other day, that your emotive body and your emotive experience is that intuitive becoming, is that constant harmonizing of, wow, I get to feel more, I get to feel more, I get to feel more. You're in this beautiful, luxurious environment. You get to feel the sensuality of the forest. Make no mistake about that, Gaia is sensual. All that Gaia offers is sensual. It's the vibration of love and the sacredness of all life and its movement of life. And those are really profound vibrations. So feel into that, and you'll feel yourself just like, wow. When you tune into and just drop and be present with these words of vibration that are fifth dimensional, you just feel yourself, wow, I'm going to move in a different way today. I'm just going to take a few minutes and just dance and move on the beach. Just feel yourself in the rhythm and just tune in and call in Gaia, the biosphere. I'm calling in Gaia. I'm going to move in a very sensual way with you, Gaia. I want to feel the energies that I'm moving with you. And I'm being sensual in my body because I'm waking up to how I can move and navigate and direct myself in higher vibrational ways. This, in and of effect, it does allow you to harmonize greater light quotient. And plus, it allows you fun and joy, and it does allow you to release the densities within your body. You're meant to feel the sensuality of life, the richness of life. And then there was just saying that many of your traditions will change over time. because we were talking about the apple and the seasons and Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of these things that call about traditions, and how you flow in the generosity of spirit in all ways. So again, sensuality is the generosity of spirit that is flowing in all ways and all things, because it's all life, it's spirit. There's nothing that doesn't have spirit in it. It's our intention, it's our entanglement, it's our beliefs, it's our stories that we carry, it's our perspective of those stories that we carry that change how we move through a forest. If you were told one day before your awakening that the forest was just the forest, and then you had a dream and you woke up and you thought, wow, I remember sitting at the trunk of a tree and I was actually talking with gnomes and fairies and I was dancing, I was having this beautiful time. And then the next day you go into the forest, your awakening with that forest is totally different. Your consciousness now and on the planet and throughout all creation is now rippled through creation is different. Your consciousness awakening of that forest sensuality and the song within it, the contraction, expansion, that is spirit and the fluid movement of spirit, just changed all creation. So much of what we're saying right now is changing all of creation for you if you so choose to go within and feel into it. Because these are really profound stories that have been with us for thousands of years that have never been seen or heard or talked about or perceived or expressed or explored from the perspective of the divine feminine. It's always been seen from the divine masculine's point of view. And even what is spoken from the God purview has always been done in the male's voice. But there is Mother, Father, God as one. When I talk with God, there are moments where the Father comes through and there are moments where the Mother comes through. They're unique and differentiated energies. And then there are moments where they talk as one. Creation is of the Vesica Pisces. They are equal in their creation. There must be the male and female to manifest all life. There must be. We say male and female. It is the harmonization of the beauty of the Mother and the Father God. It doesn't have anything to do about gender and sexuality on our planet. They are the energies of the vibrations that you've come, and every person has come, regardless of what their sexual preference is. It means that the male frequencies that you've chosen to carry and the female frequencies that you've chosen to carry are that are all connected with the vibrational stories that you're here to harmonize and clear and bring it to a higher vibrational level of oneness. Because in the level of oneness on many higher vibrations, they might have a male or female body, but in essence, they're all androgynous because they're completely harmonized in the male and female bodies. And it becomes redundant. I've had many channels and many experiences, many beings say that it's redundant for us to say I'm male and female because to them, they're all one, it's androgynous. We have such stifled stories of limitation. But now we are coming to a very crucible point on our planet where absolutely the divine feminine and all that is all else to be brought back into balance. And why all things will be so. Must be. We can't go through ascension by missing half of the creation out. Creation story is a creation story. It's all life. You can't miss it out. It's like missing the endocrine system, as we said the other day. So sensuality is to be in the enlivenment of spirit, of the physical. So anything that is physical, anything is matter, there is the sensuality experience of it. And of course, also too, they're showing me that beings that choose not to take on a body, they still have and understand the expression of sensuality. However, there are those beings that we contract with, yes, of course, that watch us in our everyday movement because they're watching us harmonize and they're watching us evaluate a new sense of being as light, as greater light. And as I am ascending, there's all beings that are watching and they're taking part in my exploration and my new life as a sensual being now, because I'm awakened to that vibration. I'm calling in that divine feminine energy. I'm saying, yeah, I want to be sensual. I'm moving through life. And I'm going to own that part of me. I'm going to own that vibration. I'm going to create stories with it from the divine feminine perspective. What does that mean for me? And that is your human right, your spirited right, and your sovereign right to be so, do so, and explore so. That is sovereignty. You have that evolutionary right to express yourself, explore yourself, and experience yourself from the highest guidance within. That is sovereignty. That's sovereignty, the right use of free will, the right use of power, the power of thine self with God, with spirit, all that is spirit, the highest guidance. And live in thy body as such. Explore in thy body as such, because thy body is a sensual expression, exploration, and absolute creation of the Mother and the Father. Cannot not be. And if you nourish it and you feed it and you allow it, then you're just like, wow, I feel everything. And that's rich. Then you're moving into this experience where you're absolutely 5D because everything around you is that matter and you just get to explore its sensuality within it, making a great meal and how sensual it is. You see some of the best chefs in the world, you know, some of them that just absolutely love what they do and they're just such passion. There's passion of the physicalness of making a great meal and they pour all of themselves into that meal. That's sensuality. That's the enlivenment of spirit within all that is physical. And that is what was represented to me for many, many years now, that same story and that same vision, that same movie was playing for me so that I could see it from many different perspectives at different points of my evolution. That's why your spirits and your teams will show you that. Because you're meant to share it from yourself, with yourself, for yourself, from those different points of evolutionary perspective. So when we were in the group the other night and there were many women sitting around, we were just like, okay, well, what does that mean for all of you? How do you feel about that? What is your experience with sensuality? And there wasn't a lot of conversation because we have been subjugated from different various perspectives. How we're seen if we're moving sensually, and the energies that are perceived. So this, we're just raising our vibration to be spiritually mature, and leveling up. We're leveling up. I'm mature about who I am, and I get to carry myself as I wish, and I get to be whom I wish. And really carry it with pride, and you're starting to rewrite who you are as this beautiful star, earth, mother, goddess. You get to rewrite that archetype for yourself. And sensuality will be a huge part of our 5D experience. That's the wish of spirit. That's the wish of evolution. Spirit creating all that is life, as Spirit said to me the other day, I'm just creating a galaxy here, galaxy. That's a spiritual evolution of sensuality. To see the joy of a physical manifestation that God creates, a galaxy. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's like the most sensual thing that one could, oh my gosh, there's a galaxy. I mean, oh my gosh. It's just like, that's the harmonization of that Merkaba. I'm saying as Merkaba, obviously God doesn't need a Merkaba. I mean, God's, whatever God's Merkaba is called that makes up those galaxies is the I am. I'm in it. And that was pretty sensual. What's next? That's evolution. We're meant to go about life like that. And so sensuality is the being of and the enlivenment of spirit of the physical, and how it is the living creation of love, joy, thought, and intention coming to life, and feeling into it and seeing it feeling that flow in that song from all of the perspectives that is able to be sensual from. And that story of the Adam and Eve, I saw it from Eve's perspective as the sensuality of, it was my own perspective. And I don't want to presume anybody to take on my perspective. It's up to everybody to begin to ponder what that story means for them from their own unique perspective with spirit and source. What does that mean for you? How can you see that Adam and Eve story from the perspective of yourself? The divine feminine, the mother God, from Gaia. Gaia is divine feminine. And so how can we begin to feel into the sensuality and the enlivenment of physical matter? Really just feel into that. Wow, it feels so good. Like when you're eating an apple, or when you're eating something that you really enjoy, when you're drinking one of your favorite drinks, the sensuality, and feeling the physicalness in your body. When you're having a bath and cleaning, you're just like, wow, I'm really sensual. I'm going to feel into this experience of sensuality. I'm beginning to come to life in a new way. And allowing these expressions of these evolutionary moments where we're transitioning as a human collective, profound human collective transformations, incredible. We're changing our collective, and it's rippling out through all creation. Wow, that collective is really tapping into sensuality. I mean, that's a vibration of creation. You manifest that. When you've got passion and sensuality for a beautiful garden, make no mistake, that garden is going to grow. That's the God garden. That's the enlivenment of spirit and all that is physical. Why not? Why would we not take part? And we've never really been taught as a collective to value our bodies, because from the vibrational stories we come from, the importance of who we are, the value of who we are, the approval of who we are, the blessing of who we are is been taught outside of us. So now we're returning it all within, the upside down. We're turning all of those stories and experiences within, and the value is of thyself, and the physicalness of thyself, and the sensuality of thyself, and owning it freely and cooperatively with all that is else, life and love and God. So it is like a story or a poem in the cosmos that is very much sensual. So is the cosmos sensual? Absolutely. It moves, it's fluid, it's dynamic, it's beautiful, it moves and it tangles and it dances and it erupts, and it's got that spark of life, and it's got that moment where there's nothing at all. It's got that void. Of course, absolutely. It's a poem, it's a song, it's magnetic, it's dynamic, it's balanced. The balancing factor is one of the universal laws. Can't have a universe that's not balanced. There are parts of our universe that are imbalanced, and that's when the councils of the Most High come in and they create, God knows, because God's God in all places. God says there's a sector of space out here that's imbalanced. Let's get to it. Must be balanced. We got great life to create. And that's when you manifest greatness. When you manifest out of imbalance, you all know it. That's when those tower moments come. Right? Because you're manifesting from imbalance, not from the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, absolutely in harmony. When you're manifesting from that sacred child, that's how you manifest. And we have one of our videos on that, the joy of manifestation. And the joy of manifestation is really that multi-billion-dollar business that has been written about, which is really just being the joy spirit. Writing that story. And it's the makeup of the heavenly experience of love and union and pleasure, and is the co-creative entanglement. So it's up to each and every one of us to allow ourselves the sensuality of a new moment. Just say, well, how can I recreate this in a beautiful and sensual way? Like, can I feel my body is sensual today? And absolutely, men that are watching this program, and some of you are my clients, absolutely feel into the experience of who you are in your body to balance out the divine feminine and divine masculine energies that have these energies subjugated from other timelines about the use of the body and the harmonization of the body and the beliefs of the body, and the miraculousness of the body that is both mother and father. It can't not be. That's why you have, in your co-creative experience right now, we have come from mothers and fathers. And it doesn't, again, have anything to do with the sexual preference. They are the energy bodies that we come with. The energy bodies that come with stories, vibrational stories for each of us to realign and align and transform and transcend into the oneness of God, spirit, source, creator, all that is. We're the harmonization of all. And to live within the center of it is the hardest part. That's mastery. You know, when you have your moment of sensuality, and then you have your moment of peace and presence. And then you have your moment of beauty and sacredness. And your moment of soft and presence. And then you have your moment of excitement and co-creation. And creativity and sound and dance. Is there, I'm just tuning into the councils and the galactic federations and the star councils. Thank you, Spirit. Is there any light language activation that would like to come through our channel before we close up? We're just going to do one of my 5D oracle cards. Thank you. Thank you, oracles of light. Thank you. Thank you. We're streaming through the oracles of light right now. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. They're saying that we'd like to stream through this experience of all aspects of your physical reality as a constant moving song of energy, and how you interact and entangle with it affects it. So everything in your experience is a vibration, and how you express yourself within it is interacting with the energy of it and around it. And so we're bringing these experiences through to you as an awareness factor that you are a vibrational being, and you will see in your coming weeks and months that you're absolutely creating from the one heart, and it will be realized before you and manifest before you very quickly. And so to pay attention to your vibration and how you interact and react with all of the things, because you are affecting all of the things around you. And why it is so important to allow yourself the healing that is required, because all things are vibrational songs and all vibrational patterns, and to allow yourself the sacredness and the sensuality to be at peace and breath. And moving more and more often into the fluidity of gentleness and softness and kindness and care, so as to not to make the abrupt distraction and dysfunction of the energies that are spiraling within your same now moment. For you are all vibrational beings, and everything upon earth interacts with everything upon earth. And your vibrations, now that you're becoming more and more one-hearted, you're feeling the compassion of something that occurs on your planet, of those that you do not even know, because your hearts are being threaded more and more as one. Your thinking and your seeing are becoming more and more apropos. For what you thought about a moment ago is now becoming manifest. And so why, dear lighted ones, it will be ever more important for you to remain within the pillar of light, who you are, and stay centered and just allow and be peace. Choose from the sacred heart and walk with joy and excitement. And know that all aspects of physical life is the sensuality of co-creation, for there absolutely is within all that is life the movement of joy and sacredness, for that is the creator, the evolutionary ways, and for each of you are oracles, if you will, And each of you are a story and a symbol that are moving within the sacredness of all other things that are sacred. For God does not say this is sacred and that is not. This is a sensual experience and that is not. It is the perspective of all that you are within yourself to awaken in all new moments of the cells and the beliefs and all that you have ever been, and to realign and to realize yourself anew, to harmonize yourself into a new spiral of now, a new spiral of vibration, a new spiral of potentiation. And so breathe. Hi, it's the case. She and an cut the cat, the case, she added the gun, night, the case, she in the cut the cave. I she am a get the cake, none of the I she my it's the case, she and I ate the cake and not a cut the cake. Eh, but right night, the she and I'm a cut the Eat night and my kid case shy and then a cut of I and then a cut of fluid and joyful. Release the abrasiveness of reacting. Just breathe. You are the oracles of peace and calm and serenity and sensuality and joyfulness and enlivenment and richness. Fall within the fluidity of spirit. And release in all moments those reactions. Have you popping off and interacting and bubbling off others. Just be at peace, be calm. Be the sensualness of peace, serenity. For that too is a beautiful expression in the river, in the song, in the poem, painting, in the art, story, that is all sensual. For it is all the expression of spirit in its physical matter, in its dance with spirit as physical matter. Thank you, dear little ones. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you. And what they were showing me in that light language is they were showing me the beautiful, elegant movement. I don't know if you guys have probably ever seen an eel move and swim in the water. It's so elegant. And it just moves this most beautiful, elegant experience. And just regardless of what it comes across in its navigation, it just moves in this most elegant and beautiful way. And this is similar to snakes and our beautiful reptilian experiences on our planet, and each and every animal again is symbolic of those experiences of sensuality and just feeling into the environment and feeling into life. Those of you that are conduits and awakening to the new experiences of who you are becoming through your senses will begin to feel the inspiration of becoming greater and greater sensual in your bodies, and feel into what that means for you and journal it and ponder it and enliven it within yourself and really create this beautiful sacredness and see things from the eye of the perspective that anything that comes before you, from the divine masculine, from the divine feminine, from the sacred child, the elders, the collectives, give yourself that opportunity to explore oneness. And that, dear lighted ones, is ascension. You're self-actualizing yourself as one with all and all with one. And so this is beyond. This is the universal creativity again. It's beyond what was. And it is the soul's unique gifts and movement and is Gaia within creation and the fluid movement within creation. It is the flexibility, again, that flexibility in the movement of being sensual within the song that is already spirit. And there's a harmonic and there's a poem and there's a story. It's beautiful and it's breath and it's just flowing with that beautiful breath and just knowing you're held, you got it. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. Realizing your vastness and your own creative genius, realizing your own sacred voice and your own sacred knowing, releasing the creative acceptance and any wounding that goes along with yourself as being creative or sensual. Remembering that you are a puzzle in the vastness and you are very much required and you very much matter and you're precious. The activation of your DNA and cosmic knowing. So many of you have been going through cosmic and DNA activations. Pardon me, lots of clearing going on there. Just had some light packets. They were talking to me yesterday. Maybe I'll do a show about it tomorrow, about the packets of light that are coming. Adventure of your own song, unconditional trust within yourself to know that you're here to navigate and explore all vibrations. So really feel into sensuality. That allows you that preparation to feel into how we're going to move about Earth. It's going to be very sensual. We're going to want to explore everything. The expression of how you explore yourself and your exploration of all that is sensuality, really feeling comfortable with the richness of the physical matter. And there's knowing that there's joy and love within it. That can't not be. So that's super exciting. I was so excited to get that out today. So we thank you, dear lighted ones. Anybody that would like to donate, we love you so much. We're trying so hard to get our more and more illustrations out and really amplify our creative gifts that we've got so much on the burner that we're really excited to explore. So your donations are absolutely helping us co-create in a really expansive way. And we're so excited that you're along with the journey. Share our videos. We love to help humanity awaken and ponder into the oneness of who you are with your story with creation. There are no one way to move about ascension. It's all about your unique expressional journey with spirit. And that expression in and of itself is its greatest healing. Our spirit, that is how we nourish our spirit, is through expression. And of course, divine exploration. So we thank you very much, dear lighted ones. Anybody that would love a beautiful, for those of you got the holidays coming up, I always find that people book sessions and vocational coaching and private sessions with me around the holidays so that they can prepare their coming year in really profound ways. So those of you that are leaders, teachers, and healers, please feel free to reach out to me. Our links are below and our website is below for our private coaching sessions, and we would love to connect with you and really create a beautiful alignment package for you. And we love you so much, dear lighted ones. Feel into the vibrations of sensuality. Maybe get yourself a beautiful meal and create it in a beautiful, sensual way. Think about your daily cleansing, how you're cleansing your body in sensual ways, and you're using your words more sensually as spirit, the richness of who you are as spirit and the physical matter of spirit. You're seeing everything as this beautiful dance of sensuality. And feel into the vibrations and any belief patterns that need to be just transformed, because we're meant to be living as this free, absolute dynamic vessel of light, in all moments just being free and fluid to express and experience and explore ourselves as infinite beings of expression. So we thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you so much. We hope you're having fun and enjoy all that is, because it's all source and spirit. So take time to breathe, take time to be happy and in love with who you are. The high positive affirmations throughout your day, and just wishing and praying for everybody to be in love and in peace changes the vibration on our planet. Soft and gentle intentions to raise your vibration in your consciousness. Love you, dear lighted ones. Bye.